It was past midnight when I left the workshop, riding my old Honda X5 down a forgotten village road, its cracked asphalt swallowed by creeping jungle. The mist had started to roll in, a dense, eerie shroud of vapor curling low over the ground like breath exhaled by the earth itself. The air was unusually still, no crickets, no frogs. A silent jungle is not empty, it's waiting, watching. As someone who studies criminal behavior and vocal pattern deviation, I know how silence, especially in nature, often precedes an ambush, animal or otherwise. Something ancient stirred inside me, an inherited terror passed down through generations. My people have always feared what waits in the trees. Still, logic dulled the edge of fear. I'm trained to analyze patterns, separate myth from madness. The Pontianak, they say, is a ghost born from a woman who died during childbirth, her soul corrupted by agony. They say she hides in banana trees, with a floral scent announcing her, and that she tears into men with claws that seek out their livers and hearts. My rational mind scoffed, until my engine sputtered. I coasted to a stop beneath a cluster of banana trees, the last place anyone in my family would willingly rest. I swung off the bike and cursed as I examined the carburetor under the pale beam of my headlight. My breath fogged faintly in the heatless air. Then I heard it, the unmistakable cry of an infant. It didn't make sense. I was miles from any home. The sound was fragmented, like a warped audio recording, pitch perfect in intervals, then distorted. It wasn't just a baby's cry, it was designed. I've studied vocal mimicry in psychopaths. The capacity to simulate innocence in order to lure is one of the most dangerous tools in manipulation. This didn't feel human. The second clue was the scent, frangipani. It hit me like a wave, cloying and nauseating. Too strong, unnatural. It said the Pontianac's perfume is meant to dazzle and disarm, to evoke longing, then revulsion. That's when I knew I was no longer alone. A whisper of fabric stirred to my left. I looked up. Between the trees stood a figure, female, draped in white, her form gently glowing in the headlight's halo. Her hair flowed down in thick, raven-black waves. Her skin was bone-pale, like candle wax, and her presence paralyzed me. I called out softly, "Jig, are you all right? Ma'am, are you okay?" A linguistic probe meant to trigger response patterns. No answer, just silence. Then a subtle movement. She raised her face. Her eyes were bottomless voids, entirely black, absorbing light. Her lips curled upward with unnatural precision, the smile of something that had never truly known joy, only the memory of it. Then I saw her teeth. They were too many, needle-thin, gleaming like wet ivory. Every fiber of my being screamed to flee, but I was frozen in cognitive dissonance, rational mind colliding with instinct. The predator before me giggled, a sound light as rain but layered with menace. The phonetics didn't fit the emotion. It was wrong. That's when I knew she was enjoying this, me. She lunged. Her velocity defied physics. 1 second she stood there. The next, her clawed hand was wrapped around my arm. Her nails pierced flesh like surgical blades. Pain bloomed. My wrench fell, clanging onto the road. Her other hand shot toward my stomach, nails extended, seeking viscera, just like the folklore warned. Stomach first, then organs. I reacted on reflex. Adrenaline flooding my system, I kicked backward with all my strength, grabbed the wrench, and slammed it into the side of her head. A crack, bone or wood, I couldn't tell, echoed into the jungle. She shrieked, releasing me with a hiss. I stumbled free, blood streaming down my shirt, and ran. The scream she unleashed was pure malice. It vibrated in my bones. The scent of frangipani intensified until I gagged on it. In my peripheral vision, she was keeping pace, leaping between banana trees like a feral cat, her white gown blurring with the mist. Then I saw lights, the outskirts of the village. I stumbled beneath a flickering street lamp and collapsed onto the tarmac, every muscle failing. Behind me, silence. She had vanished. Neighbors found me covered in blood, eyes wild, clutching my stomach. I was taken to the clinic. 4 clean punctures, no tearing, no infection, just deep, clean wounds. The healer said I'd been marked. During my recovery, I dove into old manuscripts, folklore archives, and oral history collections. I discovered a disturbing hypothesis. The Pontianak does not simply feed, she chooses. Her victims often share similarities with the husband who wronged her or with the life she lost. Sometimes, those marked are tracked across lifetimes, reincarnations of men who once abandoned her. Perhaps I reminded her of someone. Some say the only way to stop her is to drive a nail into the nape of her neck, pinning her spirit to the body, a reversion to the harmless woman she once was. I've never had the chance to test that theory, but I now carry a silver nail in my jacket. Always. Years have passed, but I never take that road again. Sometimes, though, the scent of frangipani catches me off guard, at the market, by a graveyard, or wafting in through a bathroom window. When it does, I touch the scar on my abdomen, count the 4 small marks, and remember what it felt like to be hunted, not by a ghost, but by sorrow incarnate. And I wonder, what did she see in me that made her choose to spare me, or mark me for something worse?